Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host, Pascal Mayela. Uh, Today, the Olympic ceremony has been closed. It's finished. So we had to wait 4 years for the Olympics in Los Angeles, 2018, 28. My bad. And let's recap the the Olympics. Well, before we recap it, I just want to say thank you very much for for uh, listening to my podcast. I know it's been like 2 3 weeks that I did do my podcast. I did recently about the controversy about the opening ceremony in the in Paris, the opening ceremony of my bonus real talk. But now that I'm back, now we can really do the podcast because I was pretty busy. I need to have a time off of the podcast. But thank you very much. Thank you very much to be very patient. All my too good to be true uh podcast fan. If you want to listen to a podcast, actually, it's my podcast, Too Good to Be True. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Amazon Music, and any platform you can really find. But but if you want to see me visual, you can visit to this. I will share it. I will share it right now to the Too Good to Be True podcast, and now we have 22 people who are subscribed on my podcast. I need more people to subscribe to my podcast because it will be great, and that we can grow this podcast together. So for that, uh, I want you to do something like, subscribe, notify, and leave your comment on the community or on the video. It will be so great because this podcast cannot grow without you. And thank you very much to listening anywhere on my podcast. Now, let's get right to business. I wanted to share a video, a video with all the recap of the Olympics that happened. And before we show the video, what are my thought of all the let me just stop sharing. Then I'll go back sharing. What is my thought overall with the Olympics? I think it's the worst Olympics of all time. I don't care what people say. The Olympics, this year Olympic 2024 Paris is the worst of all time because there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of backlash. I mean, everything went wrong, went wrong. Everything it can go wrong did go wrong. I mean, there's a lot of controversy. Like I said at the beginning, the opening ceremony, the athlete complaining about the food, the Village Olympics, about the bedroom. I mean, even the River Seine in Paris, and all that. That's why we wanted to. I want to share the video, and we can watch. We can watch. and I will add something to it. So let's share a video with this uh, wait, oh sorry, with this with this hold on, this must be a problem. Hold on. There it is. Okay, I want to share this video and we can watch it. Then I'll pause it. Then I'll pause it, and I'll give you a little bit of my perspective of it. So let's watch it. Let's watch this, and here we go. I know it's a 40-minute plus, but this is a show, first sport with Rufa Ramani, Indian journalist from, I believe, from India. But then we could look at other video I found on YouTube, the more controversy. But let's play. Let's play. Let's play right about now.
Hello and welcome. This is a very special episode that we are bringing to you over the weekend in our coverage of Mission Paris here on First Sports. And of course, this is looking back at the games that was. So let's get started.
I like that beat.
Paris Olympics vowed this mission to be best. It wanted to be record breaking mission. It wanted to be the greenest ever games. Now, of course, there was a lot of noise leading up to the Olympics. It created a lot of records right at the start before it all began, because this was the first edition that saw equal participation of women and male athletes for the first time ever since the Olympics started. But this talking point that started emerging as the Olympics started was, of course, controversies beginning the ceremony. Mr. sign came under the scanner for endangering the athletes, and then, of course, the athletes themselves being disgruntled. All the facilities that was being provided in the Games Village, threatening to leave. The opening ceremony of any mega event, more so an Olympics, is about projecting the host country's traditions, maintaining the ethos of the games, and bringing some of the biggest sporting icons of the country together. It's the opening act of a long play. Pressure is on organizers to get it right. Paris wanted to set an example and set the tone of the games with an opening ceremony like never before. So they ditched the stadium village and opted for Riverside instead as the place for it all to water body that runs through the city. Pollution and toxins aside, they wanted to provide spectators and everyone gathered there a spectacle to remember. And the excitement was sky high, despite the rains that threatened to dampen spirits. But I'll tell you what, rain couldn't do what the opening scenes of the ceremony managed to do. Create quite what you saw there was, let's call it a rendition of the famous Last Supper. as originally depicted by the famous artist Leonardo da Vinci. The Last Supper originally is a depiction of the biblical scene of Jesus with his apostles, sharing the last meal before the crucifixion. Now, it's great to pay your respects to something that is revered by Catholics the world over. What France did was basically give their spin to it. So, what was supposed to be an adaptation turned into a bit of a parody for the purists. Why? Because the scenes had drag queens performing every character of the famous and religious Last Supper. The scene featured DJ and producer Barbara Bush, LGBTQA plus icon, flanked by drag artists and dancers on either side. And that sparked outrage across the world. Everyone was fuming at France's seemingly insensitive hand in treating something sacred to many. It was seen as an act ridiculing religious sentiments. And the internet broke with many lashing out at the organizers trying to execute something in what they called a superficial garb of wokeness. They were also upset with the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, that governs this to allow something like this to pass. It's not just come from some celebrities witnessing the ceremony criticized this. Politicians world over gave their own spin to this, calling this a shambolic representation of the event. They blamed the organizers for abusing the Bible and making a mockery of an iconic scene. One of the many who condemned this was Russia's foreign minister spokesperson Maria Zakharova. It's not the only faux pas that Paris organizers ended up making.
Just to be clear, I already talked about the controversial with the Last Supper. If you guys want to want to listen, what was my thought on the Last Supper? This controversial with the drag queen. I already put in the video of the kickoff ceremony over there, and it had 26 views. So I don't need to explain. I don't need to explain. The video is right there. So let's move on.
As the South Korean contingent made their rowing entrance along the river, they were mistakenly introduced as North Korea. Though subtitled, the text on the bottom of screens that was broadcasting the opening ceremony for those viewing outside was correct, the error is politically sensitive, owing to the tense relations between the two countries.
This is what the first mistake they did, France. How come you can say that the first one is North Korea and the second one who came out it was South Korea? They're not the same. It is not the same flag. So this is what the first controversial that I thought. Yeah, I didn't really pay much attention after I had to review it. So they took that L for this one. So I'm sorry, friends. So let's listen to another one, controversy. So let's go.
All right, the quest of being the greenest at the greatest Olympics, Paris is turning out to be a bit problematic for the athletes. It's like students in the class of a very strict teacher. They realize soon enough that it is best to mess up and get punished to stand outside the classroom so that they can have their own fun and watch the other kids squirm. So, what's making top athletes the world over squirm in Paris? Many of them are pretty fed up with the facilities that the games village is providing. The The same village, which was lauded for their out of the box setup, is now facing a mini exodus. Students exiting classrooms, in this case, athletes finding reasons to run away from the Games Village, ditching the prestigious Games Village for luxury hotels instead. So, what's prompted them to leave proximity, safety, and break the rules to do that? Take American tennis player Emma Navarro, for instance. Her biggest complaint is about the cardboard beds. Just to give you a bit of a flashback, it's these anti sex beds. Biggest problem is lack of sleep. The beds are just too small to give athletes their much needed.
So you saw what with the carpal bet. I do not blame any athlete who left the village to sleep in a hotel because this is this is a disaster. Because as an athlete, the bed has to be better. They need some sleep and because to rest. Because with a cardboard, I'll tell you what, with a cardboard, it hurts your back, it hurts your body. I mean, you'll get very tired, and they're not going to be in great shape. When I say great shape, I'm not talking about be fat. I say great shape in a sense of you know to get stronger. To prepare themselves. Training. So that's what I'm talking about. So this is another L. Let's move on.
Now, it isn't just the bed that has been the cause for concern. The steaming hot rooms have kept many awake too. Before the Olympics even started, Paris Games were expected to be the hottest in the history, and it's not like Paris didn't prepare for it. They did, modest, with green theme. So instead of air conditioners, geothermal cooling systems have been installed instead. Many, like Team USA, have resisted to getting their own portable AC units. But the concerns are not just about facility for the players' rooms. The fuel that keeps Olympians going. Food. That's the biggest bone of contention. Reports say the start of the games had dining hall serving up more drama than Michelin star meals. Many athletes, including India's medal winner Manu Bhaker, have complained about lack of proper. The village prepared to serve 13 million meals, but upon arriving, athletes reported of having not enough protein or just subpar. There were news reports of a shortage of eggs as Paris opted for more green menus. The issue seems to have been resolved, but not before that prompted many to leave the village. Now, there's obviously no room service at the Games Village, so athletes have had to do their best to stock up. One thing they cannot run out of is toilet paper. Speaking of toiletries, Coco Gauff, tennis prodigy, shared her dismay at the logistics too, where two bathrooms being shared between 10 athletes.
So for this one, I totally agree. I mean, the food wasn't good. I mean, if you know athlete, they need a lot of protein. They need a lot of meat, some vegetable too, and some fish, but especially meat because because meat gives you so strong to be prepared to compete. And for the air conditioning in the hotel, I totally agree. Then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Let's move on. My bad. Sorry.
That's a telling the world that she made her father proud by making it to the games, getting closer to her biggest dream of winning a medal. Round of 16 is how far she got, and that excitement to take it a step further, entering the quarterfinals at Paris ended in 46 seconds. Her resilience lasted all of 46 seconds. She was facing Algerian boxer Imani Khalid. She could not withstand any more than two blows before her nose started bleeding. A word with her coach and breathe forfeited. That's crumpling to the floor. She was sobbing right after she surrendered. Tears of joy before Paris Olympics to now tears of anguish. She said she couldn't take the punches that the Algerian boxer was landing. This is the same boxer who had been barred from the gold medal match last year at the World Championship in New Delhi, India. Reason? Khalif had failed the eligibility test. The levels of testosterone in her body was way too high for her to be participating in this category. And remember, this is a boxer who's participated in tournaments before alongside women in the past. Khalif, though, had failed to meet the gender eligibility criteria by the IBA, the International Boxing Association, in 2023. But come the Paris Olympics, the decision regarding see this because IBA remains suspended. And IOC instead reversed the last call and allowed two boxers, one, of course, Algerian Imani Khalif, and the other, a Taiwanese boxer, Lin Yu Ting, to be part of women's events at Paris. Khalif, 66 kg category, and Yu Ting in 57 kg category. This 46-second bout created quite an outrage online. Biggest backlash that IOC and by that extension France are facing is from Italy and the Prime Minister herself, who said this.
I think that athletes who have male genetic characteristics should not be admitted to women's competitions. And not because you want to discriminate against someone, but to protect the right of female athletes to be able to compete on equal terms. From my point of view, it was not an even contest.
Melanie, in fact, personally met the Italian boxer, consoling her after the loss, even as Algeria and their supporters taunting Karim. But this public indignation and confirmation has been met with strong resistance and a firm backing of their own decisions. IOC did not waver in their response to this, standing by the call that they made of allowing these two boxers.
They have competed, continued have lost, and throughout. By the way, this isn't makes absolutely clear that this is not very important to say.
IOC putting some valid points across to defend their decision. Even as Algerian Olympic Committee was enraged and said they called these malicious attacks on their distinguished athlete. Yes, there have been some malicious attacks, which were not necessary. I'm all for expressing your identity and standing by who you feel associated with. Khalif represents a unique case here where she's born with a womb as a woman, but has XY chromosomes which are present in male bodies. It's unfortunate, but here's the issue with that. Higher the testosterone levels, higher would be the strength and the muscle mass skeleton advantage, making that body develop in a manly or male way. So simply put, for the same hours that both, say Khalif in this case and Karini train, the Algerian would have more muscle development, more endurance, and by that extension, much more strength than Karini, all because of the XY chromosome. Now, is that a fair face off? Because this is sport. It's a contest, a fight between two equals. They say sport is a level playing field. And that phrase could not be any more true than in this scenario. A battle between two individuals or two teams who have been classified on the very same level. Is that the case here? Belgium triathlete Claire Michel.
Before we continue about the next topic, that was a big deal with the boxing with the I forgot her name again. I forgot her name. Uh, no, no, with the oh, I forgot her name. Uh, yeah, Algerian boxer. Sorry, I forgot her name. My apologize. Yeah, Iman Khalif, Iman Khalif, because everybody thought that she was a transgender, but in fact, she had what XY chromosome, and I always say this, and I believe Clarissa Shields said it on an interview. M- Men should face against men, women should face against women. And in this particular case with the Iman Caliph, she's a woman, but she does have like a body of a man. We've seen it all the time, you know. We've seen it all the time. One with the Chinese person guy human. She's a woman, but she have a body. She look like a man, and they got excluded last year in the boxing World Cup in India 2023. So my question to myself: should they let them box in the female gender? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but that was a huge controversial, and that's also another L. What the Mark Adam, the spokesman with the IOC, I think that was a shame what he said, because how come it's okay that a woman should punch a woman, but when a person have XY chromosome should punch a woman, that's not fair. So I'll leave it like that. So let's move to another topic. Let's move to another topic. I'll go back a little bit. I'll go back. Then we will let's talk about it. Let's go back. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Triathlete Claire Michel fell ill after the triathlon event. Michel was hospitalized and treated for an E. coli infection. E. coli, a bacteria that can cause serious intestinal and medical concern. How is it transmitted? Through contaminated food or contaminated water that makes its way into the digestive tract by the mouth. Michelle fell sick right after her swim in the river Tyne, and that forced Belgium to pull out of the mixed triathlon event. While the Belgian authorities didn't blame river science pollution levels for Michelle's sickness, the truth is Michelle is an athlete who fell ill after swimming in the river, highlighting a potential risk for Michelle's Switzerland's Adrian Ripon had stomach infection. This after Ripon competed in the men's triathlon. He too pulled out of the mixed triathlon event thereafter. The Canadian triathlete Tyler Misrocha got sick and threw up 10 times. Not a pretty sight, and not something you want to experience. right in the middle of the most important. So it's not just one athlete. Many of the triathletes and those who swam in the river have had serious illnesses to come, leading me to believe that the river sign was pretty, pretty enough to be a tourist, ride on a yacht, and take in the sights and sounds, sure. Not safe enough to be an athlete and swim. Confirming this fact was Belgian triathlete Julian Vermeulen, who's part of the women's triathlon.
Can't say safety of athletes is a priority. While swimming under the bridge, I felt and saw things that we shouldn't think about too much. The Seine has been dirty for 100 years, so they can't say that the safety of the athletes is a priority. I took probiotics. I had the idea of not drinking water, but yes, IT failed. They couldn't cancel the race completely either. Now they just have to hope that there won't be too many sick athletes.
Our two athletes were making it just wasn't. And picture the predicament of athletes for a second. You have to swim through a river that doesn't feel right. Stop affecting the chances of your team, your country. Think about it. A river where public swimming has been banned for over a century. How could it be so soon? Despite France's more than $1 billion investments on the cleanliness, it is fair to say the river failed to deliver. Before the men's and women's triathlon events took place, the practice sessions, in fact, were cancelled. The organizers, though, went ahead and conducted the main event, seeing the fear of backlash coming in from all corners of them having to cancel events of the games. But they didn't think it would take an ugly turn with athletes falling sick. Despite this calamity, the mixed relay event went ahead as planned, despite the practice sessions, to those also being called off due to high toxin levels in the water. Clearly, the toxin levels in the water did not miraculously fall a day later for the event delays. So, safe to say, player safety was compromised. Of course, it wasn't just contribution.
Well, we were just gonna talk about only the controversial thing. This is uh the controversial, but with the Fan River, I totally agree. It has been 100 years that nobody swim, and you know it was polluted. Why do you want to force the athlete swimming on the Seine River? And and I would say that they knew that they will be sick, even though they were cleaning the water. It doesn't matter because it comes back. It does comes back. I mean, what they were thinking. I mean, this is the one thing you don't. Nobody wants to see athlete go sick. And what happened? Most of those athletes were sick, and most of the athletes were vomited. And you know why? Because there's a lot of poop and a lot of peeing and bacteria. So that's why they got sick. That should never happen again. And I mean it for real. That should never happen again. And what they did is pretty much disgusting. That's why I put that another L. That's why it's the worst Olympics of all time. Thank God that nobody. Thank God, and I said this. Thank God that everybody was okay. Because imagine if somebody died because of the sickness of bacteria. Now it's a different story. That should never happen again. Speaking of controversy, there's another controversy uh, uh um uh with in the sprint during the Olympics. It's got involved with Shelly Ann Fraser. So I want to share this video. I want to share this video. Hold on. I want to share this video and we're gonna look at it each other. So let's listen to this. Let's listen.
First, Alien couldn't go Olympics. Then Sharika for withdraw from the 100. And now Shelly a withdraw from the semi-finals, brother, in our last Olympics. Stress out, stress out, stress out. Let's stress out. Let's stress out. Yeah, let's stress out. Last Olympics, the big three, we get 1, 2, 3, and not one outside three. Now run on the feet.
I'm not feeling Paris right now. Yes, I have a bone to pick with the Paris France Olympics. Now, I gotta give a shout out to the gymnastics team, USA, and Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast in history. She's picked up 4 medals this year, 3 gold, 1 silver, leaving Paris with her 11th Olympic medal. So yeah, much love to Simone, and I can't forget about Noah Lyles. He's bringing the gold medal back to the USA. So yeah, I definitely love all of that. But Paris started off the wrong way for me. There's still a level of irritation lingering after the opening ceremony. Out of all the entertainment options in the whole world, they decided to pick a group of drag queens and a kid to put on a full blown drag show. There was one scene that really ticked off the Christian community. Christians believe they were mocked with these folks using drag queens all lined up along one side of a long table with one in a crown, posing in the center, looking very much like the Last Supper.
The Olympic opening ceremony is extremely disturbing and demonic. Here's why. The theme of the event is very symbolic and strange. Firstly, there was a recreation of the Last Supper using these people who dress extremely provocative. This is very disrespectful to Jesus Christ and Christianity. The Olympic received so much backlash for this that they have to take the video down. Not only that, a bullhead was being displayed on the stage. And for those of you who don't know, in the Bible, it represents devil worshiping. Also, near the Eiffel Tower, they showed 2 people riding a white horse and a pale horse. You may think this is normal, but it's not, because according to the book of Revelation, the white horse represents the Antichrist, while the pale horse represents war, famine, and death.
There was so much backlash over the opening ceremony. The Olympics removed the video. That's how bad it was. Then in American media, you had these wicked feminists on The View trying to convince people that what they saw wasn't what they saw.
Come on, y'all. It's the Olympics. Stop. They're not trying to do anything except talk about the history. They're showing you the history. There are too many people in the picture for it to be the 12 disciples and then the 7 or 8 other people who are in the picture.
Well, and
It's just
also
more people.
when you're criticizing religion and people were offended, the director said it wasn't what he intended, and he also said the mission was inclusion. Intention matters. He came out and said that wasn't what I intended. I'm sorry if that's what offended you, and this is what I was trying to do.
Then you have the controversy with the women's boxing competition, where 2 people who reportedly failed a gender DNA test last year were allowed to compete against women this year. For the most part, folks believe that those 2 are biological men. One competition was so bad, an Italian female boxer had to bow out in 46 seconds. She was crying and upset because she had never been hit so hard before ever in life. We always hear about equality, but the truth is, a woman is not stronger than a man, and the feminist idea that women can compete against men is just out of order.
Want to bring in Clarissa Shields. He's a professional boxer and a 2-time Olympic.
This is what I was. This is what I said. Um, on my previous. So this is Clarissa Shield. So let's listen to what she got to say.
Gold medalist. It's great to have you. And her necklace there says, quote, was the greatest woman of all time. It is really good to have you here. You've competed in 2 Olympics. This, you told us in the break, was not an issue when you were in the Olympics. And there's the medals. What do you think about all of this?
Well, my first Olympics, I was 17 years old. So I hadn't even fully developed as a woman. So I couldn't imagine getting inside the ring with the biological men. I mean, even though I spar against the men.
Just to be clear, that even though it's repeated, but this is more about Shelly Ann Fraser. So don't worry, people. We're gonna get into it.
Fighting for the Olympics is way bigger than that. It's so much more on the line. So to have to go on there with the opposite gender when look, women fight against women, men fight against men. So I don't even see how the Olympics done something like this.
And finally, so far, if all of that wasn't enough, you have a very upsetting moment for Shelly Ann Fraser Price, the living track and field legend of Jamaica. Shelly Ann is definitely in my personal top five of all time. I've been waiting all year to see her and Sha'Carri Richardson perform in the finals. Shelly Ann, 37 years old, which is very seasoned in this sport. Most of her competitors are in their 20s, and everybody already knew this would be her final Olympics. Remember, she made her first appearance back in 2008. That was 16 years ago. This was going to be her fifth appearance. A certified track star, certified legend. So it was very upsetting for her fans when it was revealed that she and Sharika Jackson pulled out of the Olympic Games. Sharika was still feeling discomfort from an injury she sustained last month. There was no real reason for Shelly Ann's disappearance from the Games when she was right there before the 100-meter semifinals. Rumors started floating around that she was possibly injured, and other sources said she was late to the stadium. Then this video right here made its way to social media. She said them changed the rule yesterday. Like,
Wasn't announced.
change the rule and then not say. So you're asking all the athletes who, for whatever reason, don't stay in the village, them can't come through the gate. We came through this gate yesterday and went through security and was okay. Man, so we can't go back over all the way up when everybody else are able to come back down there. That's crazy. That was Shelly Ann. She was denied access. And this right here is Sha'Carri Richardson. They wouldn't let her in either.
Yeah, I'm actually the boss. Actually, the organization is right now. So I hope they know. So we are stuck in the bus. Wow. So they let people out, but they won't let you in. So I'm gonna ask them to record how long the walk is.
These are professionals. They know how to show up on time. So this wasn't just about time. Some believe it was even sabotage. We found out that both Shelly Ann Jamaica and Sha'Carri Richardson USA were denied entry at the same gate. They had to walk an hour to another gate. Now, this wasn't their first time going through this gate. The day before, they had no problem. But on the day of this event, they were both denied entry. Apparently, there
All
was
right.
some new rule that you can only come through the gate if you arrive on a team bus. Both women did not stay at the horrible accommodations they have for the athletes. We've heard this before about how horrible the food is and how uncomfortable the beds are in the village. These ladies did not ride on the team bus that had no AC, by the way. They paid for their own transportation to get to and from the facility, just to be denied access when they had no problem the day before. Them being denied entry at that gate, that's what caused them to arrive to the track late. And because of that, they were not able to sufficiently warm up. As a result, Shelly Ann pulled out at that time. Again, she's 37 years old. An injury would be horrible. Sha'Carri had the same risk, but she went along with it anyway, because Sha'Carri felt like she had something to prove. She wanted to redeem herself from a couple of years ago when she wasn't able to compete at all. Here's the
So before we continue, so you heard what she said. I mean, why you have to change the rule? Yesterday they got it. They got in. Okay, the gate. Okay, just normal. But they changed the rule that night so that the athlete cannot get access, and that the rule is you gotta go with the team bus, which you live in the village, where the people will step in the village, and the bus will take you to the village to this gate, which it's kind of silly, but let's hear for more detail from this young lady and from Justin Gatlin on Club Nightcap with Ocho Cinco. Then then I won't conclude this podcast. So let's listen to this. Then then uh then then I'll conclude it. So let's listen.
Real reason that Shelly pulled out the race is Shakari, my bad, got second, which is still amazing. She still got an Olympic medal. That's better than probably everybody watching this. So rules were changed. These two athletes decided not to stay in the Olympic Village, and the rule was changed that you have to come to warm ups or come to the gate come to the gate on a team bus. Now, as an athlete and coach, I've experienced this in real life, and literally, I had the same exact altercation happen to us. The issue is because they did not stay in the Olympic Village, they did not come on the team bus. They came individually. So, because they did not come on the team bus and because they could not get into that gate, they literally had to walk an hour to the front gate and damn near miss warm ups before they raced. So basically, she won. She got second in the world with no warm up. And y'all know Shelly pulled out, which was a smart decision because you can risk tearing a muscle without a warm up and you're going out there and sprint, especially against the fastest people in the world.
So you heard what she said, and I agree. Shelly Ann Fraser, she has to pull out because she's 37 years old, and you don't know what's gonna happen because what happened is she didn't get warm up. What happened is she torn a bicep tear, but she twisted her leg or had a torn ACL. What would happen? She could have injured. Same thing with Shakiri. Even though she went second, and just for continuing, Shakiri and the other woman who ran in 100 meter did not showed up at the podium. We're gonna talk about it later, but she didn't. They didn't went to the podium to do the interview because of this BS thing. So I will add it a little bit, but let's listen to what Justin Gatlin got to say.
The video surfacing, Shelly Ann Fraser Price, this is her last Olympics. She let it be known, this is my last Olympics. That I guess what's transpiring, Justin, if you don't ride the team bus, people are having issues getting in. And it seems like Shakari had that issue and Shelly Ann Fraser Price had the issue getting to the warm-up area. And I guess when she got there late, she ended up tweaking a hamstring. I'm not really sure. You're in Paris, Justin. What have you heard was the reason, or one of the reasons, why Shelly Ann pulled out of this race, knowing it's her last Olympics?
Well, first of all, it started off that she had hamstring issues, and then it started off that she wasn't let into the warm period. Now hearing that it's she had to ride the bus to be able to get into the warm up area. To me, bro, it's just ludicrous. First of all, in our sport, when you are a star, you come in with a private car because you dialed in, you focused.
Right.
To get on that bus, sometimes that bus gets overpacked. There ain't no seats left. You got to sit on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Just to get to ride for 20, 30 minutes on a bus where there ain't no air conditioning and to get to the stadium. Yes, it's a humbling experience. But when you are poised to win or you have won Olympic gold, there should be a different level of preparation for you. We know that you can get the job done. There's no reason why she should not have been let into the warm-up area to get ready for her last 100 meters that we ever gonna see. I feel like that was a shame to the fact of altering her preparation and the legend that Mommy Rocket is. Now we're gonna look back at those channels on the internet and see that vacant lane 5, and there's no Mommy Rocket there. I feel like that hurt my heart, knowing that such a legend, and y'all legends in your own right. Imagine that they call your name out to come out on the field and then you don't show up because you couldn't get what you need to get done. No.
We couldn't get into the stadium.
Exactly. You couldn't get to the damn stadium. The Olympics, should oblige those ones that we know that are gunning for that Olympic title because that's gonna make a better show for everybody.
In spite of all these roadblocks, Shakari still competed and made it to the podium. She didn't get the gold like everyone expected, but she picked up the silver medal. St. Lucia's breakout star, Julian Alfred, she got the gold, while the USA took the silver and bronze.
Just for the record, Julius was from Saint Lucia, a little small island in the Caribbean. I'll say this: congratulations to her when does 100 meter. But at the same time, and I wrote it on my ex formerly Twitter that it's gonna be overshadowed because of Shelly Ann Fraser Price did not participate in the semifinals, and the Shakiri wasn't. I'll tell you what, she wasn't even uh, uh, at her best, but she got second place. So it's not knocking on like the Saint Lucian who won the championship, who won the gold medal, but it's going to be overshadowed. So let's continue.
Julian made history. It's her country's first ever Olympic medal. So that's really big for St. Lucia, a very small island. Shout out to St. Lucia and the USA, Julian Shakari and Melissa Jefferson. Overall, I don't like what happened to them at this gate. And when I see how the women's boxing events went, along with the opening ceremony, I can say I have a big problem with the Paris Olympics and the International Olympics Committee. I do not like their response to the boxing controversy either. They're like, oh, they're all females. We checked their passport. And then with the track competition, I think Shelly Ann was robbed of her moment. And Shakira Richardson, she's been working very hard just to prove that she was supposed to be there. She trained and worked, and stayed away from the media and extra controversy. So again, much love to Shakira. Also, sending love to Shelly Ann for her amazing career. Let's go ahead.
So, like I said, we got robbed. Instead of a farewell goodbye to Shelly Ann Fraser Price, we didn't get it. We didn't have it. We didn't even have it. So we got. I think the whole world got robbed because of this stupid rule of the gate. I think if you don't sleep in the Village Olympic, but you got your individual car, you should let this person in. I don't know. I mean, this is what I we had in this Olympics, and I'll tell you what, the four next 4 years and 8 years, this Paris Olympic is not going to be kind. I'll tell you right now, it's supposed to be the worst Olympic, and I've seen people on social media talk about it's the worst Olympics. Even on Instagram, it's the worst Olympic, and I'll agree. We got totally robbed from it. But let me know in the comments what you think about the controversy that I spoke, or 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 if you don't think there was another controversial, just add it in my comment. Or do you think if I missed something, just add it in my comment on my video. So thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you want to listen to this podcast, like I said, listen to a Spotify, Apple Podcast, Apple Music, not Apple Music, but yeah, Amazon Music, Castbox, any platform you can listen. Or if you don't want to listen, you want to see me visually, so you can go to my YouTube. My YouTube channel is Too Good to Be True Podcast with Pascal Mayara. I want you guys to do something: like, subscribe, notify, leave your comment on my video, because without you, this podcast and my YouTube channel will not grow without you. So, and don't forget to 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 subscribe on my podcast. So thank you very much. I'll see you next time.